Welcome to Podlomania Podcast, your photography and video podcast where we introduce you to some of the most amazing creatives from around the world. I'm your host, Wayne Johns, and I'm here with my good friend, buddy, and co-host, Jake Hicks. Hey, man.
How you doing, mate? You good?
Guess what I like, mate? You know, that explosion of inspiration coming from you on the show as I bring you in there, mate.
I'm warming up. Just give me a couple of minutes.
Do you need longer than a couple of minutes, mate?
No, I'm looking forward to this one.
Chat,
I'm just reading the notes here that you've put our intro. I mean, wow, it looks like we got a lot to go over. Crikey.
There's no way with our beautiful guest we've got coming up that we're going to fit that career span with that much fun and that much excitement into an episode. No chance on the planet, is it?
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah. Is this the last one before Christmas?
Well, we might get our Christmas special in, mate. To be fair. Do you remember those Christmas specials? In all honesty, man, that's just you and me talking about the past year's events, isn't it? And maybe what we've got coming up.
God, that'll be a good episode. Talking about 2020. That shouldn't take long.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long at all, mate. That might be about a 6-minute episode, that one. Or maybe a lot of Jack Daniels at the same time. That might make it about 8 minutes. So, So, any news from you since I spoke to you a couple of days
ago? No, all good. Yeah, I just did my last 2020 in-person workshop. Managed to squeeze it in between lockdowns. So that was great, actually. Yeah, had a bunch of people there, which I was kind of surprised at, seeing as it was. The rules are a little bit hazy. Like, are you allowed to do this? Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to travel over this border, that border? Are you? Yeah.
I know, it sucks, man, doesn't it?
Education, we're just exempt from everything. We can do what we want. Education's fine.
Do what you want. Yeah. No rules.
Exactly.
Go for broke. Yeah.
But no.
Catch it, it's all right. It's education. Yeah, I did the same, but I did it on the, I took the safer route. Not by choice. It was just the way it's put to me. I did a couple of live webinars recently.
Nice.
For Fujifilm with the Flash Center and Wex. So that was about studio portraiture with GFX and the medium format system, and then a tricky one using social media for commercial purposes. Man, not going to lie.
It's been a week, so it's probably outdated now, man.
So, the algorithms changed already and screwed everyone over.
No point in going back and rewatching that one.
No, it's a one-time only, I'm afraid. One-time episode. After that, access has expired.
Yeah.
And welcome back to part 2 of this episode, everybody. In fact, this is episode 39, and we've moved on. But welcome back to the continuation of this podcast with the lovely and gorgeous Tara Shannon. Now, Tara was a supermodel in the 80s and 90s, 70s and 80s and 90s, I should say, and has been in the modeling industry for... just a mere 45 years now. Still young. 45 years young in the industry. She was defined by one label, Supermodel. And with her auburn mane, ivory skin, and expressive face, she posed with the flair of an actress. Also an actress, Tara's worked with some of the most famous fashion photographers on the planet, including people like Helmut Newton, Irving Penn, Albert Watson, Richard Avedon, Ritts, Horst, Ruven Afanador, and many, many more. She has been on the cover of virtually every fashion magazine on the planet and featured in advertising campaigns for the likes of Calvin Klein, Valentino, Yves Saint Laurent, Dior, and many, many more. Bizarrely, she's even married Spider-Man at the Shea Stadium in front of 50,000 fans, which Stan Lee officiated. Tara now runs her own business, the Tara Shannon Transformational Coaching, and has been a master of coach teaching essential life and intimacy skills. We can only say we are so privileged to have Tara on the show today. And I've got to say it, folks, you can see the video, but she still looks just as gorgeous now as she did then. Let's dive into the remaining questions of this rapid fire, not so rapid fire round, and then we're going to get back into all the lovely, juicy gossip.
I'm offering you a cocktail to enjoy while basking on a sun lounger. Where in the world will it be?
First of all, it's going to be a Mexican Coca-Cola in the bottle that it's ice cold, right on the verge of freezing. And I'm going to be in the Hamptons in 1988 in Amagansett.
Bloody
pretty specific.
hell,
I like it.
That's specific.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I want you to be the photographer and shoot me. Are you going to smash the shoot?
Am I going to smash the shoot?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
our listeners can't always see my face here, but here's my face. I mean, you've got a bit of a mission on with this one.
okay. Just because it's you, what I'm going to do is we're going to put you on a furry rug with a modern couch, and you're going to be sitting with your arms like this. I'm going to be shooting behind the couch with a light, and we're going to make it look like a Hurrell photo.
Oh,
wow.
Who doesn't like a bit of George? Yeah, I like it. Bit of hard light. Get in there.
Thank God this is a podcast. We have to see that.
Making me blush all over again. Hey, what's going on?
And then, let's talk about what I'm going to do with you, mister, for a photo shoot.
Oh,
I put you
me?
in a black
No, it's only, sorry.
Yeah,
this is a quick fire round, Tara. We must keep up.
And a seamless on a stool with one overhead light and a little thing. Black and white.
Black and white. How dare you? Black and white.
Oh, yes.
Are you kidding? Black and white was always, back then, black and white was like, oh, finally, I'll look good with that. Color was always, I don't know if he's that good with light. But black and white, you can always
That's true.
I don't know what she's saying there, Joe.
No, it was always the same. It
was
was always the joke we made in the studio. If anybody screwed up a photo, it's just like, oh shit, just turn it black and white. They'll love it. Yeah.
I don't know what she's saying there, Jake, because you're just saying she's
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I need all the help I can get. That's fine. Yeah. What was your scariest modeling job? Scariest modeling job?
Albert Watson, God bless him. Like, let's go to the top of the City Core building on the 89th floor in heels and just, walk backwards along the edge while I shoot you from below.
Jeez.
Or the time
Really?
Patty Hansen and I and Karen Howard all showed up in Italy to do a ski story, and we all lied that we couldn't ski. None of us. We had all lied. Yeah, sure, I can ski. Yeah, sure, I can ski. So to punish us, Albert gave us a choice of either being hung from a helicopter or lying nude in the ice cold, freezing lake, that a stream that was down the mountain a little bit. Those were scary moments.
Which one did you choose?
Naked in the stream, of course. Lying down. It's like Mae West always said, why stand when you can sit? Why sit when you can lie down? I'm like, yeah, I'll lie down. I'll take it.
Fair play.
Brilliant.
No, I think we've already done this one. I was going to say, what was your first modeling job? But we said this at the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah, but my first New York modeling job was for Lord & Taylor, and it was in the dunes. I'll never forget it. It was my first, national ad. It was beautiful. Yeah. It was beautiful. That was my first New York. My first editorial was Italian Vogue with Francois Lamy. And
then lastly, color or more color. I mean, it actually says color or black and white, but which images of you, what do you prefer, color or black and white?
Black and white. Yeah, that's the ones I see in my head. Yeah, the Ruven Afanador. Yeah, the black and white ones.
Yeah,
the Helmut Newton ones. Yeah, all the black and white. Just genius.
Amazing. Well, Tara, you'll be pleased to know you've actually smashed that 10-question round with some of the greatest answers I think we've had in our podcast. That's just so great.
Oh, thank you.
See, I knew it wouldn't be a challenge for you. You could have just carried on with those damn things and done a whole day at it.
Well, you've unlocked the Pandora's box. It's like this flood of lovely memories came out.
Memories coming back through, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. That's what we want. That's what we want. Those beautiful times.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, you don't just model either, do you? I mean, you're an actress. You've been an actress in the past as well.
Oh, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
Love it.
Oh my God. I have been on auditions with Steven Spielberg, just like the greatest ever. And I'm the worst actress ever.
Oh, Christ.
Oh my God. I don't know what you call it, like anxiety. I can't remember one line. I just panic. I actually got booked for a commercial and I could not remember the one line. And we did a break
Just
for
one line.
lunch. We still hadn't gotten the shot because I was panicking. I couldn't do it. And luckily one of the grips was somebody that I know. And I just, I was sitting next to him for lunch going, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I can't do this. And because I was with the grip, one of the lighting guys who was like on The Godfather, right? He comes over, he's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you with this because I helped Marlon Brando. I can help you. And he said, let me tell you something about Marlon Brando. When he's petting the cat, his lines are on the floor. When he's looking over there, his lines are on the light stand. And one actor was like, I'm not going to let you tape his lines to my chest, shooting over. The actor's like, I'm not going to do it. He goes, I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to put your line right behind the camera. So when you hit your mark, look at it. The line will be right behind you. And God bless him, he did it. And that's the only reason we got this shot.
If I'd known you could have done that accent right at the start, I would have insisted on the whole interview being done in that accent. I would have
the whole interview in that.
It's fucking spot on.
Oh my God. First time I worked with I was in Dallas, Texas, and I worked with a model called Jack Scalia. He was a very famous model. He was from the Bronx. I had never heard that accent, and I asked him what country he was from because I didn't know.
Wow.
I couldn't understand his...
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so no, I'm not an actress. Sorry.
Well, that's pretty much the second half of the episode done then. That's that cleared up. Christ.
Now, I know I read a piece where you've been on a chat show a couple of times with Oprah Winfrey as well.
Oh, God.
What's that all about then?
Well, the first one was great. It was this sweet little intern from the Oprah show called me up and said, yes, we're doing a show on people who exclude sexuality. And I'm like, excuse me? They do what with sexuality? They exclude sexuality? She goes, yes, they exclude sexuality. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't understand what the concept is for the show. And I said, wait, do you mean exude sexuality? She said, yeah, that's it. Exude sexuality.
Jeez, yeah.
So I got on the show and it was before she was being more of the awakened consciousness Oprah. It was before that.
Okay.
So it was just a hotbed of fun, teasing, joking. And then the second Oprah was when I was on the Awakened Oprah. And it was a show about the dark side of modeling.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that could have gone on for hours then, really.
I think it depends on what you class as the dark side, but
Yeah, true.
It was,
some people count that as the best bit. But
the fun side.
Because a guy had just written a book about Gia, God bless her, the model who died of AIDS, and she was an addict. And then Beverly Johnson was on the show, and that girl knows how to do a soundbite. And she said, modeling is just a step above prostitution. And I was like, oh, that's the soundbite. That's the soundbite. Yep.
Wow.
And it was. And it's like, we're going to save this show for sweep weeks. The sweep weeks. We're like, oh, crap. Thank you.
What's in the headlines?
Right. Yeah. And it's, you don't meet her. You don't meet her until she comes on, you're literally on set. And then she comes on, the show has started. Then she comes in. And then as soon as it's done, they're like, here's your gift bag. Keep moving. The door, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
What? Next. I've got the door for you.
Literally. Sorry, we've destroyed your soul, ripped your heart out. You'll be fine. Next.
What's in the goodie bag, just out of interest?
A cup. With her Oprah cup.
Right.
A t-shirt.
An Oprah cup.
God bless America.
So, well, you got that on a countertop, and just to remind you how shit you've just been made to feel whilst drinking a cup of tea.
I cried on air. It was like the worst. Oh, really? I cried. It was so upsetting. Everything that was happening was so unnatural, unkind. I was so thrown. It really affected me. I literally started crying on air. Like,
really?
I was too sensitive. But I have
what
to
else
say,
do you
it was her. She had the studio was phenomenal. The first Oprah, was in, part of the station that owned her show.
Okay.
The second Oprah, she owned the station. It was epically impressive.
Right.
This,
different.
yeah.
It's,
boy, what a woman!
wow.
My God.
Well, don't worry, we're not planning to make you cry in here unless it's with laughter. Okay.
Yeah, that I've had a couple of times already.
So let's go back to the fun stuff. With all the behind the scenes photos you've shot from documenting all your shoots over the years, have you ever thought of producing your own photo book?
I have. And this is what's interesting. Being a lover of quality, I don't have the negatives. The negatives were this big. It was 110 film.
110's tiny.
Yeah,
right?
For those people that don't know what a 110 is, it's half of a 35 mil, essentially.
It's just these tiny little strips of, film in an envelope. I might have them around, but, I kept the hard copies, the prints. I have the prints taped, double stick tape, I was a kid, in all these books.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm also appalled at and intrigued by is how quality doesn't seem to matter anymore with like all the Instagram webinars.
No.
It's just live Zoom calls,
Have you been watching my webinars recently? Have you?
So now it's like as an art form in itself, the books in the format that they're in with my scrawled, like Italian Vogue misspelled.
Yeah.
It could be, an art form in itself.
Oh my God, yeah, it definitely would. Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. I mean, like Taschen, the book publishers Taschen, who do a lot of photo books, from Avedon and everyone else, will probably jump at something like that and probably handle all the scanning and reproduction of those as well. I mean, that's an amazing thing for you to dive into.
As long as you could deal with all the slander lawsuits, I'm sure you'd be fine. Yeah.
Well, what I wondered about that because of signing a model's release, who's in the pictures. If they're dead, I'm okay.
Reportage.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Reportage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
True. Well, it's, reportage. It's candid, isn't it? Candid.
It is candid.
So,
the backstage stuff in the fashion shows. Oh, my goodness. The models.
It's like press. Press don't need model releases.
No different than
doing.
Shooting it today. Yeah, no different than what goes on today, for sure.
Let me ask you guys a question professionally about Taschen. How much a percentage do they get? They just want total ownership, don't they? I look at all their books.
In all honesty, I have no idea.
You don't make a book to make money. Yeah, you do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you do not make a book to make money.
Well, not an educational book, but if you've got a historical book of imagery, photo books I think are a little bit different. But as you're a bit of a hustler, I think you could probably, have a different contract than most. So might work in your favor.
I'm going to think about that.
Food for thought.
There's a couple
of volumes up there.
Yeah, the cut is small. Yeah. For you.
Yeah. But also having it printed in a beautiful, God, who could print it? But how do you, and honestly, back to quality, how do you get quality out of a 110 photograph that was developed,
but it's its own quality. You can't. You're only comparing it to new. You can't do that. 110 has its own quality. It has its. I don't think it's an issue. I really don't. Honestly, I really don't think it's an issue.
Yeah.
And not only that, you've got to remember the subject matter you've captured. That is the quality in itself. It is the image, not what it was shot on. It's the content of yours which makes it the quality.
That's a good point. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the art of the picture that you've captured. I think it's irrelevant of what you've captured it on in terms of, going back to if we want to call it the good old days.
And if you've got a couple of shots that look a bit crappy, just turn them black and white. I love it.
Yes. Well said.
So, if you could turn back the clock, is there a shoot that you'd love to go back to and do again?
It's between well, I would like to go back to Avedon and maybe I agree with every word.
That's fine. Yeah.
The Albert Watson British Vogue shooting, God, was that spectacular fun. Oh my God. Just 2 weeks of joyous reggae music, creating beautiful shot after shot, the ideas that were pouring forth. And I have to say, as a model, my whole thing is I'm creating a scenario that I'm living. I believe it's that you're having an experience that's being caught, right? So I have to be having the experience for it to be caught.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was just this experience after experience. I mean, the whole issue, we did the front of the issue. I was in the middle of the issue and the back of the issue, which was always, the bad part of Vogue. You don't want to be in the back of Vogue. You want to be in the
About the
front
halfway point.
Oh my God. And the back then was black and white. The front was color.
There you go. That's right. Keep that black and white to the back.
That's where the money was, And then it would be great, like if I was in the front, in the middle, in the back, and in the ads, and on the cover.
Yay! Result.
Was that your first cover or?
Yes, but I had a hat that went over my entire face. I had told everybody, I got the cover of British Vogue. And it came out, it was like, what? The hat covered my entire face.
Oh, no. Bloody photographers. Honest to God.
That wasn't the photographer. That was the edit. Yeah, the art director. But it was good. It was a beautiful cover. Very graphic. I love graphic. It was very graphic, very balanced. It was purple. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful cover.
So, I mean, you still model today?
No.
Not as much anymore?
No. I've literally just retired about this year.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, right. The last thing that I did was really good. My last cover was for a magazine in Palm Springs that was fantastic. Great art director.
Okay.
It was fantastic. And then I did an editorial for a magazine called Darling that they don't retouch as their thing, and they did.
Oh yeah.
Because who the queen of Gillian. She should be, and rightly so. She should be modeling. I think of her. She's doing what my career was like when I started. She's genius. She's talented. She's beautiful. She's unique. She's inventive. She's devoted. She's got a passion for it and can back it up, with unbelievable experience. She's the one who should be working.
Oh, it's such kind words. I'm sure she's going to listen to this and absolutely love that.
She'll have to wait all the way to the end to hear it.
True.
She will indeed.
It's like a webinar. And at the end, you'll get a gift.
That's right. Yeah.
You get a gift. You get a free gift.
Yes.
So if you were modeling today, it's completely different. Do you think you would still have the same passion for it, or do you just miss the buzz of the early days? You think you've had your fun in it now?
Well, that's so funny you should say that, because being in LA except for Gillian, because she does genius editorial. The auditions for all the pharmaceuticals. Oh my! Like, okay, I'm done. Right. Side effects include, the inability to wake up. Like, that's called. Isn't that if you can't? You mean you're talking about death or a coma? They also include, anal bleeding. It's like, okay, wait, what is this drug? Yeah, America. God, yeah.
Do you think what is required of models today is different to what it was years ago? Is there any advice or words of wisdom you could give to aspirational models today?
The advice is you have to work for it. You have to want it, and you need to be good at it. So study, practice, be the instigator. Don't be the passive waiter for it to happen. It won't. You make it happen. You create it. Learn your business. And become. For models, what I would definitely say is that it's a career choice. It's not a hobby. You have to want it. You have to get it. You're hiring the agent. You're not waiting for the agent. You're learning everything. You have to be the human resource director. You have to be the accountant. You have to be the booker. You have to be the photographer. You have to be the makeup artist. You have to be the hairdresser. You have to be the stylist. If you want to be a good model, learn all of those job titles. Be a good art director. Do it all. You do a shoot, see what it's like. You be the photographer and work with another model. You'll learn a lot that way.
Nice.
And stop complaining.
I think that's damn good direct advice there.
Yeah.
The industry is different, and as photographers, I think we've noticed it, haven't we, Jake? Most certainly.
Have you?
Even though you're getting models from agents and agencies and things, and newer faces and stuff like that, I think you almost can't see the wanting of commitment from some of them. I'm not saying all of it, but you get the odd few that are just, you kind of just think they're there, just coming along for the ride. You know what I mean? Think somebody's going to land in their lap and everything's going to be rosy. But the other ones, like yourself, just work. Yeah, others like yourself just work their ass off all day long with barely a word.
I think it's good to have a backup plan, but I think that it's. I think that now more than ever, I feel like I'm in a situation where I always have to have a backup plan. I just find it difficult to rely on, a certain number of people from that age range now. It's just becoming very flaky for whatever reason. And I always seem to have a backup plan or need to have one, whereas years ago I didn't used to. It just used to be they were there. The agency would make sure they were there. And whereas now it always seems to be less so.
Wow, no kidding.
It's different. It's a different world.
It's a different world.
Bring back the good old days. Bring back the good old days. That's what I say.
That's right.
You don't mind 14 hours on.
Girls that are discovered, it's like, good luck with that. See how long that lasts.
Yeah.
You have to want it.
Yeah, you don't mind 14-hour days when they're good. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just before we get to the end of the show, because we're going to wrap up shortly, just changing direction a little bit. Now, your current company, Transformational Coaching. Just for our listeners, can you just tell us what your current company is and what that does, what you do for people?
I have to really get into this other mindset with that. Hold on. I really hold a space for the wounded aspect of people, men and women, that have been through trauma, right? To really hold an unconditional acceptance around that so they can remove their own self-condemnation and shame. I love shame. I am the shame whisperer. We can take that shame and turn it into a laughing fit by just changing the perspective on it. Because usually with suffering, trauma, wounding, the most of the pain is that you're seeing it from a perspective of somebody else's belief system, which usually falls under the category of you're damaged and hopeless and whatever else. So being able to lift that, to have the awareness that that voice isn't yours. The funny thing about shame, the simplest thing is shame is just me agreeing with your opinion of me. That's all it is. So once I have the awareness of what your opinion is, which is basically an unkind, judging, relentless asshole in your head.
Yep. Don't hold back.
Right? Yeah. It's like, okay, let's separate from that a little bit. Let's look at how fabulous it is that you've come through this enormous suffering alive. Hello, winner, right? Now let's move into, holding what you want, what you think, what you value. Because I believe that, anything is a skill. Self-hatred is a skill. Being a good model is a skill. Stupid behavior is a skill. It's all skill sets. I respect it. Yeah. If you've been in it, if you've had a horrible life and you've done horrible things, I respect that. It's a skill. But maybe, let's work on another skill. But respect that skill. Don't beat yourself up for it because that's a learned behavior. And you practice it a lot. And you're really good at it. So
brilliant.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
valid point.
That's
beautiful that you have people.
And clearly, because your website has got just some truly incredible testimonials there. Like I think you've touched on it a little bit. What is your process? Like, what is it that you're doing different that somebody else can't help them with? How are you changing these people's lives? Because this is not a shrink, right?
You're not a shrink. I am in such an irreverent mindset with you guys right now, so I'm just going to stay with it. The whole irreverent piece is working for me right now because of you two. What I do different is having respect for all the things that you judge so harshly. It's like, no, these were skills. Well done. Good job. Yes, you did cocaine for 20 years, stole from and slept with everyone. And yes, yay, you. Good job. You did that. Yes, you did. How did it go? Maybe it didn't go so well and you want to change it. So let's look at that. But to take off that, oh my gosh, here I'm going. This is my mom coming out now. Most therapeutic modalities are male focused and male created. So literally any modality is made from that person, their hangups, their insecurities, their woundings. So it's not going to work for me. I'm not that person.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why in my website I say it's bespoke. It's for you. I'm not going to be able to fit this kind of modality onto you. That's crazy. It's really crazy if you think about it. It's just like diet books, right? It's always the person's fault. It's never the diet book's fault, but it is the diet book's fault. It's the diet book. It's not your diet book. It's really crazy thinking. Yeah,
How did you get into that? I got to ask, how did you go from being like just this incredibly, surely one of the most successful models of all time? How did you go from that into this? Like, because that's obviously modeling it's not selfish, but it's definitely about you, whereas this period in your life is definitely about other people,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Modeling is not a spiritual hotbed. No, it is not.
Thank you. I mean, I was getting there.
But, I came from extreme laboratory for wounding in my childhood.
Okay.
Right. So, hello, our house was tear gassed by the police. Our phones were tapped by the FBI.
Yeah.
But, and just to get serious for a second.
A daily occurrence. Yeah.
Regular
stuff.
In my family unit, there were 25 suicide attempts, and I had 3 before I was 17. That was a coping mechanism.
Wow.
Okay.
So I was fascinated with that not being a coping mechanism. And it's also why, I left so early and started this amazing life. It's like, I wanted to make a lot of money, help my mom, find a way. But, when I was a little girl, what I really wanted to be was an anthropologist and a hairdresser.
Uh-huh.
Right? So kind of modeling was the two of that. I got to
fine balance.
Yeah, that was a good. Yeah,
fine balance.
Right, and I have to say, I've been sober for 36 years. I got sober in the middle of all this fantastic modeling, and then I started working with other models, helping them get sober. So, and modeling, there's a lot of wounding around objectification and self-objectification. And there's a lot of very creative forms of self-hatred that present themselves in the modeling world. So that's very near and dear to my heart. So, and when I started doing my own recovery and healing from my woundings, and I had the money and the same passion like I have for everything else of finding solutions for it. And the solutions I was finding was like, they're missing something here. They're missing a big point here. And then trusting within myself, you know what? I'm going to figure this out because I'm creative. I'm going to use my artistic soul, my experience, my passion, that perfect triangle. And I'm going to come up with something that's going to be better and faster. And then I did.
Nice.
I love it.
You did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Actually,
that's amazing. What
Yeah.
an achievement.
Yeah, but it's listening to the person in front of you and being present to them, not putting some kind of, cookie cutter thing. I'm not going to diagnose you. That's, you know what? I'm glad you asked me that. I'm not going to diagnose you. That's putting something, that's like my saying, I'm not even going to see you because I'm seeing a diagnosis, not you. I want to see you.
It's not a template, is it? It's not a template, is it? Everyone's individual. So, Holy crap! I almost wanted to carry on with that, Jake. It's we're on the last question.
I mean, that is
today's podcast, and it's not related to that. I feel a bit guilty now for throwing this one in the end because it's flipping subjects again. It's like, but your passion just it just flows out so much in everything we've discussed. It's just beautiful.
Thank you so much. That's really making me see like, wait a minute, I am like my mother. I am like a political activist, feminist, radical liberal. Listen to me. Like, holy crap.
It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Yeah.
Okay, Tara. Well, I'm gonna pull you out of reverend mode just for this final question. I'm sorry to do it because it's just beautiful here. You have so much passion in what you're doing now, and carrying that passion through your life, basically. But I'm going to go back a little bit. What is it like to be described as the Forrest Gump of the modeling world?
I loved that.
Because you had a knack of being at the forefront of a trend, didn't you?
Oprah. That was in the beginning of Oprah. Marianne Williamson, who ran for president of the United States. She used to stay in my apartment in New York every month, and I would read aloud from The Course in Miracles. Byron Katie. If you guys don't know Byron Katie, she's a New York Times bestseller. I was with her in Barstow, friggin' California, which is where you get gas on your way to Vegas. That's yes, but also with the fashion industry and stuff too. But spiritually, that's been really interesting. Finding these women at the Louise Hay. I was in her living room back in the heyday. These are all the women, right at the beginning of their careers. They took off into these like phenomenal voices in the 20th century. Yeah. And AA too, actually. Oops. In the 12-step program, being there in the beginning. God, it was exciting. Yeah. Oh, and so full of vibrant, everybody was like, in the industry, and I'm going to say names that weren't that like Lou Reed. This was the crowd I got sober with, back in New York City, in the heyday. It was, Eric Clapton. They admit this. That their sobriety, but it was this young, vibrant, creative, artistic community of people that were burnt out spiritually, but were looking for something, and then found it in this form of of sobriety that was exciting, man, and fun and
beautiful,
and unique, and the foundation of. The foundation, which I loved about 12 Steps, is that you find a God of your own understanding. Do you know what that means? Mm-hmm. They're saying, we want you to be the God chooser. I'm a God chooser. Really? Like, okay, that sounds like fantastic. Like, wait, what? I'm the God chooser?
In that accent as well, that's even better.
Oh my God, in New York. Oh, it was so good. So just carrying all that experience, right? All that love, all that inspiration into this next phase of my life is for me to be of service. That's why I work with so many models and, artists in the industry. Like, honey, I've been there. I understand. I can help you with this. And I'd be delighted to. Yeah.
And if you could, would you do it all over again?
I would do all of it all over again. I would do all of the suffering. I would do the childhood. I would do all of it to be able to get to where I am today, because where I am today is a result of taking all of that suffering and turning it into compassion and creativity. That's what makes us artists.
Love that. Couldn't agree more. Love that.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful, beautiful answer to the last question of our podcast today. And I
getting chills.
Add anything to that, Jake? Can you?
What a way to end.
Just chilled, so relaxed. I feel good. It's like,
You want a cigarette?
Wow.
Thank you so much, Tara.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. Yeah. I've enjoyed this. So I could just carry this on, but I know we can, not for this episode. But it doesn't mean we can't go and do more, Tara. We can do more. Don't worry.
Thank you, guys. It's very inspiring.
Yeah, I think we've recorded a piece of history here. I think we're doing somebody a favor somewhere for sure. Posterity.
Yeah, I agree. Now, before we round up the show, before we get to the final segment close, here's a stage where we ask you to personally recommend 2 creatives from either the photographic or the video world to come on to Podlomania as a guest, to come on to us for an episode. And as always, we ask you to get in touch with them and do an e-intro so that we don't get arrested for harassment.
I got it. Rachel Brennicke. I met her in Amsterdam when she was a younger person, and now she's a mature photographer, and she was also a model. Cool. But she's a genius photographer, and she's Rachel Brennicke. I'll send you her information. And then Alexander Brahm, who's an art director out of Amsterdam. And my favorite shot of his is this beautiful short-haired African-American girl in a silk spaghetti strap evening gown in a limousine, driving while drinking with a red and white paper straw from a giant bottle of Chanel perfume at night.
Brilliant.
It's
beautiful.
Isn't it? It gives me goosebumps literally just describing it. Yeah. So you need to talk to Alexander. He and I are actually going to do a project together. We're going to make a planner that will help you connect to your divine intelligence for inspiration to create, and then to be able to name that, and then to take the actions to create it. So we're working on that.
Wow. I could do with a couple of packs of those at the moment during lockdown.
Yeah, but you know what? Listen, baby, you guys are doing that. This is what you do anyway. This is how you create. It comes from within. Now we're like, let's just put some focus on it.
Yeah, true.
Right? Let's manufacture it. Yeah, right. You do it all the time.
Certainly needs focus. Certainly needs focus at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's also one of the gifts of being an artist.
Yeah, thank you, Tara.
Amazing. Yeah, we look forward to hearing more about that when that
that might take a while because we have to focus and really create it. We're working on it, but we get all like, what if it should be
chicken before the egg? Yeah.
Yes, we're going to do it. Yeah, so those are my two creatives for you.
Perfect. I mean, you don't have to limit it to two. If you want to spill some more, that's fine. We'll leave that for out of show. But those two would be great to take over for sure, 100%. Now, Tara, before we wrap up, would you just like to let our listeners know where they can find you, your website and your social media?
Yeah, www.tarashannon.com. That's for the coaching. It's a very simple, clean website that's just saying, you know what, you are special, you are unique, and let's work on that. And stop beating yourself up for trying to fit into a box that you didn't, one, build, and two, you don't believe in anyway. Hello. And then on Instagram, it's at Tara Listens.
Perfect. And I would urge all our listeners, photographers and models in this as well, because there's a lot of advice and information for models during this podcast as well to help along the way. But just jump on Google and just type in Tara Shannon model, and all the glorious images will just come flooding through. All those campaigns and covers and those glorious ones from those years ago are just stunning, absolutely stunning. And they go on and on and on and on and on and on. So there's a lot to look through. So enjoy that. And remember, folks, if you would like to help support us produce and record even more great interviews with some of the world's greatest creative talents, your support and donations are very much appreciated. And for those that don't know,
I did.
Yes, and thank you ever so much. Yes.
And now we'll donate.
And for those that don't know,
oh God, no, you shouldn't. You've done enough.
Thank you indeed. And for those of you that don't know, you can find our donate button on our website at podlemania.com/donate. And you can go in there, and that goes through via PayPal or through buy a coffee. And remember, every pound or dollar helps keep the hamster fed, to keep those wheels turning, to keep the lights on. And remember, if you like this episode and you don't want to miss out on new episodes, then please make sure you subscribe to us on your chosen podcast player, or you can subscribe to the podcast at podlemania.com/subscribe. But remember, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Store, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Podbean, and about 35 other podcast players in over 36 countries. So apart from that, we would really like to come back and thank Tara for being the amazing, gorgeous, passionate person that she is, and for coming on the show and just making this so beautiful and
thank
enjoyable.
You so much,
it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah. See, if we were shooting, we would be in this same energy. This is how it works.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I know you're sober,
right.
but I would definitely be drinking by now. Yeah, for sure.
I'd be slapping it
Me
out
too.
of your hand.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
You're fine just the way you are.
One of my tea.
Have some more coffee.
One of my cups of tea, Tara.
Right.
Cups of tea.
Really, right? Coffee will do it. You do not need cocaine, I promise.
And on that note, folks, we're going to love you and leave you, and we will see you in the next episode. And we're going to go and enjoy the Christmas spirit a little bit more.
All spirits. Christmas.
And so from all of us over here at Podlemania, once again, Tara, thank you. You've been amazing. And for our listeners, we will see you in the next episode. So it's a big bye from us. Thank you. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you.